Welcome back, gurus. What's going on? My name is Derek. Welcome back to the channel. It means so very much to me. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the fact that you guys are coming here to learn more about the Niagara N-Force system, some tips and tricks. So let's get into the video. Today's video, we want to discuss how to add a single point to multiple controllers all at once. For example, in our demo site here, we've got a backnet network with the 25 VAVs that I've set up here. As you can see, VAV 1-1 all the way to VAV 1-25, and then we've got VAV 2-1 all the way to 2-10. So that's 35 VAVs that I have in the demo site that I've set up, and we've got 13 rooftops. Nothing is set up within these VAVs, no points are added. They're just blank controllers at this point. So let's take a scenario where you have set up all 35 VAVs with all your points that you want. You know, you've got all your trending, your alarming, everything is set up with one VAV, and you've gone through and replicated that for all 35. You start commissioning a VAV and you've forgotten to bring in a point, and you want to add that point all at once, and you're confused on how to do that. So let's go ahead and use the program service. So drop your services down. You're going to go to the program service. Now yours isn't going to default to look in this order. I have it reordered alphabetically because sometimes I can't seem to find things at times, and I always find it easier to find it alphabetically. So we're going to go to our program service, load it up. Now if I expand out our order of how we have things laid out within our demo site here, we've got a folder called VAVs. Then we've got the controller, and then by default you're going to have your points. Now nothing is currently in the points. You probably will have things in your points folder, but you're missing the certain point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to find objects. You can drill down as far as you want. For this example, we can stay at the config level. It's not going to matter because we're going to narrow down our search so far that we don't have to narrow it down this far. Theoretically, to save a step in this scenario, you could have gone to config, drivers, backnet network, and selected the VAV folder, and it will only search within your VAVs. But in case you don't have that sort of folder structure, I'll show you how to do it without having to drill down as far. Searching for a point, we're going to search for components. We're going to hit this plus sign, and we're going to add, this is going to be our BQL query search. So we're going to look for name, and we're going to look for the points folder. Okay, so this is going to look for all your points folders. If I just search this, it's going to bring up everything. It's going to bring all your rooftops. It's going to bring all your VAVs. We don't want that. We just want to add a point just to the VAVs. So again, we're going to still look for the points, but we're going to add a second search. Here's your points folder, and we're going to look just for the VAVs. So the VAV controller level is one parent above. So we're going to look for parent.display name. You could do, if your VAV structure was VAV1 or VAV2, you could do parent.name, but because we're using the dash symbol, we want to use display name because Tridium and Niagara wants to make dashes and spaces using, you know, that $2D, so it's kind of annoying sometimes. So we're going to do for parent.display name, we're going to hit the like button because we're going to search for a group. And we're just going to do VAV, again, case sensitive, so all my VAVs are capitalized. And then I'm just going to do the star. If you only wanted to look at the VAVs on the first floor, so the VAVs 1- instead of the 2-, you could do VAV-1 star. But in this case, we want to add it to all VAVs, so we're going to do VAV-star. When I bring this in, as you can see, it's found all my VAVs and the points folder. Now we want to add the point. We're going to add a slot. We're going to go to BCSV3, which is our type of. Then we're going to grab a BCP backnet. Now you can grab a Boolean writable if you were going to do a Boolean point if it was a binary point. Or you could go to numeric writable if it was a numeric point. We're going to call this point DA temp because for some reason we forgot to bring in our discharge air temp sensor. We can set our precision. We'll do degrees Fahrenheit. So we could set that up as well. And then we're going to hit OK. And then it's going to add that point to every single controller. As you can see, if we go to our points, it's going to add it. Okay. The problem is going to be is when you look at it, it hasn't actually assigned it to the specific analog value or analog input of the controller. By default, it does analog input -1. So this isn't going to actually solve our problem, because now we're going to have to go back and go into individually and go here and select it. But again, we can do this all at once through the batch editor. So let's clear our search query. As you can see over here, the proxy extension is what holds the object identifier. So that's where your analog inputs or your analog value is, okay? So that's a slot within our proxy extension. So what we're gonna do, oops, pardon that, I didn't mean to do that. So we're gonna go back to our program service. We're gonna find our objects, and this time we're gonna look for display name equals proxy extension. Remember, case sensitive, so make sure you're capitalizing it as it is listed here. We're also going to look for that specific point. So we're going to look for parent dot, we can do name here because there's no spaces or anything like that. And we're going to do DA temp. And then if you wanted to get more specific, because if you use DA temp for a very standardized naming nomenclature across your system, and you've got DA temps within your rooftops or wherever else, you don't want to necessarily change it for everything. So we're going to do, so your proxy extension is parent.parent.parent. So if we do 3 parents dot display name, we're going to do like, and we're going to do again VAV star. So this is going to look for the proxy extension point with a parent of a name of discharge air temp, and we're only going to look in our VAVs. Boom. Brings up the proxy extension. We can go edit slot, grab our object identifier. We can make it analog input because it's an analog input for discharge air temp. And let's just say it's analog input 2. Hit OK. Let's look at our points now. Boom. Analog input 2, set to degrees Fahrenheit. And you're done. Okay, guys, well, that concludes today's video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope this helped you out drastically. If you have any questions, concerns, please leave a comment, and I will try to answer them the best that I can. Again, I'm not I don't know everything about Niagara. I know enough to make myself dangerous, so I may or may not be able to help every single question that you have. But if you do have a question, hopefully I can help you answer it. Leave a comment, or if you know of a better way to do it, I'd certainly like to see your input, but this is the way that I've found it works. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for watching the video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Keep improving and keep being a controls guru. Take care.